everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am starting off this mixed media project with 225 GSM paper. I am now just adding some gesso onto there because I'm about to treat this thing with some heavy duty paint and stamping and gel medium and a lot of things. So it's important that this paper holds out and retains the vibrancy of the colors that I use. So I've heard Dina Wakley refer to gesso as the underwear that you put on before you put on your clothes, and I like it. So I always put gesso on before I'm about to apply any sort of color. So I grab my Caran d'Ache soluble crayons here, and basically I've just pulled that Distress ink set to the side there because those are the colors that are inspiring me to create this piece. I'm just forwarding this along. You get the picture. I'm basically building up the layers, keeping the gesso wet so that it reacts with the Caran d'Ache colors. So I'm adding color, I'm adding gesso, then I'm adding more color, so building up my layers till I get the correct vibrancy that I'm after. So you'll see here that it's worked really well. Nice colors there. I've stamped just a script with black ink, and then I'm going in with that penny black stamp. I'm using those Ranger Distress inks colors there on the side, stamping that on, just adding a little bit of variety to my background. The background's not going to look anything like this at the end, but it's slowly giving you a chance to play and get into the mood. I'm now grabbing this amazing glimmer paste from by Nuvo, and using the stencil to apply some pretty leaves down the side there, and I just love this product. These two products together are amazing. So they create a little border on the side there. So slowly the background, the color of the background with those leaves, I'm getting a feel for what I want to do. Now you will remember I used this beautiful Prima Princess stamp for my first project in January. I want to use her again, but I want to use her so that you don't really recognize her. Every time I look at her now, I think of my first project, so I will use her, and I'm just changing her up now. So I'm putting washi tape on there to cover up her eyes and the way her hand comes up to her mouth, stamping that on there, and then removing the washi so her eyes and that arm thing on the side there, that all gets removed. And as usual with my stamping, I always get stamping right in the middle of the stamp, so it's really bad. So I'm just removing it here. This Prima Princess is so big, she does not fit on anything that I have. My Fiskars press, my other stamping tool, so I just have to stamp her with my hand. I do get a partial print here, but I don't mind because I'm basically just using her form as an outline for what I want. And I know I want a girl in this I guess piece, and she stamps mostly well. So I'm just now coming in with a black pen and just filling in the lines as I go. So that works really well for me. I know for sure that I don't want to use her same features, so there are no eyes there, there is no mouth there. Now, as you can see, this is where this piece is going. This whole piece is inspired by this fairy door, and so I've used it as like a locket on her neck. And I wanted a big piece. All my other stamps are like little stamps. I wanted a really big stamp, and she was the only big stamp I had, so I had to use her. Now I'm using the twine to create a necklace, and as I was playing with the twine, I thought, wow, this twine would look amazing in her hair. Like, that girl has rosettes in her hair, and I thought, oh, I could always make turn the twine into roses, and so I did. I wasn't planning on doing this. It just kind of popped into my head, as I got to the stage, so I just went with it. So I chose all different colors of the jute, and I'm just putting it on with, I tried with the Mod Podge, it was too sloppy, so I ended up changing from the Mod Podge to the gel medium or the impasto gel, and I just rolling it between my two fingers, cutting it off, grabbing my palette knife, and then just squishing it into place. Some of the twine would come off the side, so I just add more gel medium. It looked like a hot mess at this stage. It looked, you know, when gel medium is wet, it looks yuck, but it dries nice. So this is what it looks like dry. I'm just grabbing the twine for the locket here, and I'm just putting a nice thick layer there and just going all along, but I'm making sure that the gel medium doesn't come up to close the locket. I want that opening and closing function of the locket to work. So I finished with that stage, putting it off to dry. This took a long time to dry, so put it off to the side to dry. And I thought, you know, she looked kind of a little bit empty on the page there, so I grabbed some of these wood flourishes that a beautiful person sent me, and I grabbed like 3 shades of brown or 2 shades of brown and this like a copper and this metallic gold, and I just you know, wood sucks a lot of paint, so I tried with one color. It didn't look nice with one color, but I added 2-3 colors together, so I ended up just hodgepodging a whole lot of this. It looked really good. Then I grabbed my Perfect Pearls and added some of those, and this looked really, really good. So with the copper and the metallic gold and the Perfect Pearls, it looked perfect. So then I grabbed my other color, and we just put a dab of green on each of the swirls. That looked really good. And then I grabbed the third color, I think it's called Fizz, Berry Fizz or Bubblegum Fizz or something. I added that, and that was just beautiful. I loved that. I just grabbed a crystal coat here, and this is just a sealer to seal the colors in, and this was just beautiful. So I'm just placing those flourishes here. I'm just trying to think of a way to make them work on the page, so I fluff around with that for a little while, and I'm just forwarding it through. This was like 2 hours of video. It's painful. So then I use my gel medium, and I really lather it on, really get it stuck in between the edges, only because I knew I wanted to add some of this. So I grabbed my seed beads and I let the seed beads fall in between the swirls of the flourishes, and I just love the effect it gave. I also sprinkled these seed beads all over her hair. So I tried all different colors, some pink, some clear, some blue, some, yeah, just all of the different colors that I had. I put a little bit in each swirl. I then decided that I wanted her to look like she was wearing like a sequined top. So I put some more gel medium there. I'm just picking up some of the excess that fell and just putting it all around her necklace so it looked like a beaded necklace. And then I'm putting some on now, so I'm going to grab some heavy duty sequins. Here's the purple, and I'm going to put the purple on there with the gel medium. And just all around that locket just looks really pretty. More around there, and then I decided that I wanted to go with the big sequin, so I'm just about to put some red there, and that looks really nice. I love how that turned out. And just distributing it here so it didn't all fall in the one area. I'm grabbing some spray here. This is adhesive spray, and I'm just spraying those sequins down, and in her hair as well. The seed beads that are on her hair, I am just putting them in there and spraying it down. I thought that the background looked a little bit lacking at the top there, so I decided to grab some gesso, and I just wanted to put in some more white stenciling. I think that looks really good there. I inked around the edges just to give it a little bit of dimension, and because I liked it. The next thing I did was I thought that I wanted to add more color into the background, so I just squished some of that ink onto the side and then added some water, and then with my pipette I added these like drippage. This is for people who don't have any ink or sprays, stuff like that. You could just use your stamps, stamp them on the side, put a little bit of water, and then drip it onto the side. I also have this amazing, this is the only one I have, the only color I have. It's called it's like a Pearl-X paint, and I just thought it looked really nice with that whole autumn theme. I thought that color looked good. At this stage though, I started panicking because it just looked like a weeping mess, and I thought that I destroyed my artwork, and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Why did I have to add drippage? You know, everybody else does it and makes it look good except me. This looks awful. So at this stage I'd done a lot of work, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to throw it away, so I just sprayed some of that gold. I have a gold color there, and I just sprayed it on, and I moved it all around, and it actually wasn't too bad. And then I'm paying attention here to her face. I'm trying to think of what to do with her face. I didn't want to draw it in. I tried to draw it in, and she looked like a beast. So I stamped over her intentionally, and then I thought what I could do is just add just some basic features like lips and pretty pink cheeks, and that would be enough. And then I started going crazy with the red hair, and I started coloring in her shirt. So her shirt is like a see-through purplish sequin top, yeah, I wasn't too sure what I was doing at the stage. I kept doing this over a couple of days, or over one day, but over a couple of hours, and I just kept adding to it. So then I moved away from the face and then back onto this background. So the drippage went all over the leaves, and they kind of got lost in the background. So I thought what I wanted to do is I grabbed more of that metallic copper, goldy copper. I made like a mixture of both, and I went around each of the leaf to try to accentuate it to make it look like you could see it in the background again. So I did that, and then I thought it looked good, and then I realized it didn't look good. So I grabbed some gesso and I went back in there to try to take off. It was just too dark. It did what I wanted it to do, but it was too stark a difference. So with my finger I just went around each one and I gessoed it, and it kind of blended it, and then where all the ink splotches were, I blended them out as well and made them a lot lighter, so it actually looked really good in the end. I found this pack of like little glittery things, like a butterfly and leaves and stuff that somebody had sent me, like sequins that you sew onto a dress, and I put them on the inside of the fairy wish door so that you could see things exploding out of the locket when it was closed. And I put like leaves in her hair, and I put some sequins in her hair into the middle of each rosette, and I thought that looked really, really good. It kind of made her look like a fairy queen. So I colored that in. Okay, so then the next thing I did was the gesso that was raised, I wanted it to be colored. I didn't want it to be just like a variegated drippage. I wanted it to be actually colored. So I colored a few of them in, and it looks alright. it just ended up being, I just couldn't stop. I just had to stop at some stage. I kept doing all these things and I was like, no, I need to stop now. I can't just keep adding to it. So I grabbed this cut apart from one of the papers from the March kit, and I cut out this sentiment that says give thanks always. I cut it into 3, and that's going to be the sentiment in this piece. So, you know, her heart, and she opens her heart, she opens her locket, and she always gives thanks coming out of the locket, representing thanks coming from her heart. I think that's what I'm trying to say at this stage. I'm just trying to tie everything in together to finish this project. So I'm inking and distressing the edges. I then grab some of this twine, and I want to make like a elegant twiny thing in the back, and this just gives me such a hard time. So it took me like, I don't know, half an hour just to put twine behind each of these places. And last of all, I love this part. I love the butterfly that I put on her lips. I think that takes the cake. That's the cherry on top, right? So then, and because I truly can't stop, I grab some of this Heidi Swap Shine, and I'm just like dripping, like dropping gold bits. So this is it at the end. If you look at it piece by piece, I'm so happy with how it turned out. Her hair is amazing. That butterfly on her mouth is amazing. I love how the seed beads and the sequins fall into the wood flourish. I love that exploding locket. I love the twine coming in from behind. The glimmer leaves and the gesso leaves look amazing. It looks so good. So I think in the end I pulled it off.